In this article, Barry Staw offers a critique of the need satisfaction approaches to explaining work behavior. And he also explains why this approach to explaining work behavior ultimately failed. And while it's still very widely disseminated, and for many people you work with, it's highly likely that they if they did their business training 20 years ago, this is what they learned in leadership. So it's very important that you understand it. But for our purposes, kind of the bottom line on the need satisfaction model is it's not useful as an explanation, and it's not practical as a management tool. It basically presumes some things that we've got to do for workers that basically the very worker-centric workplace is just actually not practical. And probably early in your career, for sure, you're not going to have a lot of control over job design, so that tool is not available to you. But ultimately, as you'll see as we develop the course material, that the explanation of need satisfaction model is also itself not very useful. There's much better and more high-powered explanations. And Staw does a great job of really walking through the scientific evidence for why the assumptions and explanation of need satisfaction model don't hold up. I'd like you to look for, in particular, the evidence that he walks through that happiness is not the outcome of productivity, that people are satisfied do not. I'm sorry, that happiness is the outcome of productivity, not the determinant. So people are happier are not necessarily more productive, but we know for sure people who are productive are happier in their workplace. And that has a lot to do with productivity, and productive workplaces are much more enjoyable places to be. And then Stahl also goes over some of the individual personality differences that relate to life happiness and the lack of relationship of that with workplace productivity. Another kind of key part of what's in this article is a discussion of the choices people make in the workplace. In particular, I'd like you to pay attention to the discussion of, people choose to participate, and then they choose their level of work is a different choice. And there might be different things that impact the choice to participate and the choice to how much am I going to work, how productive I am, how much of my identity am I going to devote to the workplace, and how these choices relate to the work behavior. Final thing is pay attention to is he does have some discussion of the role of perception and how people respond to the workplace and how perception impacts work behavior. This is going to be a very important topic for us as we move into what are called cognitive models, of choice models, of how people determine their behavior, the choices they make about behavior, and how their understanding, their cognition about the workplace impacts how it is they behave in the workplace, which has got all sorts of dimensions to it, as we will be exploring throughout the course.